have the latest with Lindsey. So she's currently pregnant with her fiance Chad's baby, and her daughter Miley Grace was living with her father, and she was removed from her father's home, and she's currently residing with her father's great-grandmother. And Lindsey claims that on New Year's Eve, Miley Grace went to this party, and I guess it was busted by the police, and Miley ended up running away into the woods. And she was never found by police until later that night when she showed back up at her great-grandmother's house. She said, "I'm honestly still in disbelief over this, and now I'm being publicly accused on Facebook is even more ridiculous. My 16-year-old was busted drunk at a New Year's Eve party that the police broke up when she was supposed to be with her great-grandmother. She should have never been drinking and driving. That is the only thing that should matter here." Yet, instead of concern for a minor who was intoxicated and actually reported missing for hours with multiple state police searching wooded areas for her, the only thing her so-called family seemed worried about was a car. Not her safety or the fact that police were searching for her, and not that a teenager was drinking and running through the woods for hours in 30-degree weather. None of that was important enough to come to Lockup for, but the car sure was. And then, to make it even better, instead of making a few simple phone calls to local tow companies to find out where unclaimed vehicles are routinely taken, I spent 2 straight days being harassed and blamed over a vehicle that I did not take, touch, or even care about. When your child is missing and intoxicated, everything else goes to the back burner. Let me be absolutely clear. That vehicle never should have been driven by a 16-year-old who was drinking, period. Yes, I filed papers on Michael, and there is a pending order of protection. And yes, there are police reports documenting the entire incident, including timelines, phone tracking, and body cam footage, which are being reviewed by the Guardian and judged next week. What's so sad to me is where the priorities were. Not one person from her family met with the police, followed their directions, or did anything more than try to hide the fact that a child in their care was not where she was supposed to be and doing things she shouldn't. I will always choose my child's life and safety over property every single time. Now, these are messages between Lindsey and Michael, which is Miley's grandfather. And he said, "I was staying out of it, but you keep poking, so where's my mom's car? Okay, looks like you made your choice. Karma comes in all shapes." And Lindsey responded and she said, "Poking? Excuse me, I was contacted and I was with the police." Then he responded and he said, "Funny, I know where Miley is and what time she got there." And Lindsey said, "Okay, I'll contact the police right now. Edna," which is Miley Grace's great-grandmother that she's living with, "she lied to police on body cam. Jamie lost all his kids and now you have threatened me. Y'all are really on a roll." So did the police. They were pinging her phone every 15 minutes. Police report will be available next week at court, and we are including it in the emergency order. And he said, "F you and Chad don't have the balls to message me back. I try to be nice. I'm not a felony. Not much for me to be worried." I think he meant to say, "I'm not a felon. Not much for me to be worried about." And she said one report with Hardin County, who is tracking the phone for Tishomingo, who was the second report. Tish said full report and body cam footage would be ready before court next week. I'm not getting a felony either. That's exactly what the police told you today. They said when they called me. And Michael said, "LOL." And she said, "Please don't contact me moving forward. I feel threatened for my life. If you have further communication, reach out to Clay Nails." So this is the post from Miley's stepmother where she posted Miley's car and said it was stolen. She posted the address. She said it was stolen between 12:45 a.m. and 2:30 in the morning. And someone commented and said, "This is wild." And she said 10 years ago, to this day, almost, she stole my other one too. Love that, huh? So she claims that Lindsey had stolen her car in the past 10 years ago. And this person said, "That's why I said what I said. I love how she stole your car twice. Only this time, I hope she doesn't total it out in a high-speed chase." So that's what it sounds like happened with the first one. And then someone commented in Lindsey's comments under her post, and they said they reported the car stolen knowing Miley had it instead of being concerned she was missing and under the influence. And Lindsey said she ran into the woods and she left the car at the Airbnb. I left and went to meet with Tennessee police, so I didn't see how the wrapped up getting all the vehicles out of there. But they blame me. They tried to file a police report for me stealing it. The night shift officers had to tell them that I was physically with police for 6 hours straight, and there's no way I stole their car. It apparently never occurred to them to call tow truck company. Now we're going to take a look at what both sides are claiming happened. This person is friends with Miley's stepmother and father, and they have came to their defense in the Love After Lockup Reddit before. And we've covered some tea that they spilled before, and they said just posting this as its own comment and not on my own comment thread. The car that was stolen, it's been called around for the last 2 days. Police have called her themselves, with her saying she had no clue where it was, while the police was telling her that it was private property and they did not tow it. It was suddenly found today after it was finally posted as stolen on Facebook. The whole time that Miley was drunk and on the run while being searched for, she was literally with her dad and grandma the whole time. The cops even came out to see her physically to confirm, and I really am unsure why she continues to try and get in front of stuff she claims is lies. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for her. This person said everything she puts out is a twisted version of the actual truth. The Michael guy she's talking about in these messages, she even said to him something about Jamie has lost all his kids because she keeps saying he failed his drug test, but he didn't, and they have all their kids. I really do not know where she pulls this BS from, and that's why there isn't much info for Michael in these messages. He's their grandpa. He knows the actual truth of what is happening, considering that he lives right next door. Then they said, I pray she's able to get some sort of no contact or protection order soon. Her actions and the things she's saying about a child online are causing her extreme mental anguish. All she wants is to be a regular 16-year-old, and the only person who are trying to give her that and keep her safe are constantly having to keep an eye over their shoulder for the next move and BS that's going to be thrown their way. She can get online every day as she wants, saying they're all on drugs and letting Miley Grace run wild, but at the end of the day, the truth is every one of them have passed the drug test. The only person in this situation that had a child removed from them is Lindsey. She's been saying for a month now that they're filing orders for emergency hearing to get her back. Things just keep getting pushed back due to the holidays. Now they're getting denied because there's no emergency. All this will and is going to come out and come back to bite her in the butt in due time. Miley has been doing so good since getting to finally be back with her dad again. And Lindsey also lies, saying he's never had anything to do with her. But I won't lie, the things Lindsey keeps doing is hurting Miley bad now. Then she said the whole New Year's Eve situation was seriously nuts. I was up with a small baby and her stepmother messages me. It's literally like 1:30 in the morning, and Miley had to get her dad and grandma to pick her up because Lindsey showed up where she was with her friends, telling the cops that she had to get her, and she ran off in the woods drunk, knowing she doesn't have custody of her, and had someone been called to pick Miley up, it would have been her dad or grandma. She was texting Miley Grace's grandma saying that she's a runaway. The cops have a search out for her, and her grandma's like, she's literally in the backseat of my car, and I shit you not, Lindsey just keeps texting like no one even replied to her, talking about letting a teenager drink and drive, completely avoiding the fact that her grandma is texting her back saying she didn't drink and drive. She's not running. She's literally with me and her dad, and I really wish I had the level of delusion she has. It would make life so much easier. Then they said this is long, but this is what really happened on New Year's Eve. Miley was allowed to go with 3 of her friends on New Year's Eve. The parents have rented an Airbnb the last few years for Halloween and New Year's. They have people come over to hang out for the holiday, and the girls usually stay the night. She literally just did this on Halloween. She stayed the night. Everything was fine. She was home the next morning. Hayden let Miley take her car because they had no plans for New Year's Eve. And she told them that there may be people there, but not everyone that was coming was staying. Word did get out about it, and it did get bigger than anticipated, but Miley was where she was supposed to be and with who she was supposed to be with. She was not drinking and driving, nor was she planning to leave drunk. She was there so early that she was blocked in with no way to leave even if she wanted to. Lindsey was informed of where Miley was, and someone, I can't say for sure who, but I have an idea, called the cops saying there was underage drinking. Lindsey decided to show up as well and got there either the same time as the cops or right before them, and Miley was outside, and someone actually texted her saying that Lindsey was looking for her, and I guess her was looking for her, and her dad has emergency custody of her, and on top of that, she does not feel safe around Lindsey, so she called her dad, and her grandma came and picked her up. Maybe 30 minutes after they got her, they went back to the Airbnb and no one was there. Everyone's cars were all still there, but there were no cops, nothing. The only car gone was the one that Miley drove. So her and her dad went to go get her stuff, and while this is happening, Lindsey's texting her grandmother saying that search and rescue is searching for her. She's a runaway. All the parents had to do is come get the kids at the Airbnb. Miley didn't even know that the cops had came, and literally the second she was told Lindsey was there, she went somewhere safe to be picked up by her dad. Why would she think that she could just show up and what? Take her? Insane. Every cop thought she was there trying to pick up her kid and that she was drunk, that she was a drunk runaway. The cop literally called and confirmed that they have Miley and she's not a runaway. They spend the whole next day looking for the car, calling, physically looking. There's a video proof of a cop contacting Lindsey, asking her where the car is, and Lindsey tells the cop she doesn't know, and the cop tells her, well, we didn't tow it, it was private property. In this video, she says she wasn't worried about the car. She was apparently up in Tennessee looking for Miley. Even if Miley had been where the cops were when they showed up, Lindsey wouldn't have been the one that she was called to come pick her up. Miley was at home in bed by 2:30, confirmed by cops by a wellness check. The cops talked to her and told her, hey, this is your chance to tell us if you had the car towed. This is serious and charges can be pressed. This is your chance to tell us. And she continued to deny that she had no clue where the car was. But lo and behold, the car was towed and not by the cops. Regardless, Miley wasn't drunk, and even if she had drank, she wasn't ever planning to leave where she was. She can say what she wants all day long on her Facebook page to her groupies, but I myself have seen the video of the cop calling her, saying they needed to know what happened to the vehicle. Any shitstorm she has going on or coming has been done by her own hand. How in the world can someone say they care for their child while constantly putting them on blast? And so someone from Lindsey's camp has been reaching out to me and telling me stuff that Lindsey has been claiming. They told me a bunch of information. I probably won't have time to get to everything. I might have to save some for a separate video. But this is what they had to say regarding this incident on New Year's Eve. First, before we get to that, the top message they sent me, they revealed that Lindsey allegedly miscarried. Like back when Miley first was, I guess they did the, temporary, custody order, where she went with the father for a while, and then next thing you know, they decided to keep her there permanently. I guess she was pregnant right at that time, or she got pregnant right afterwards. She ended up miscarrying, and then she got pregnant again, and then they just announced it with her being close to 4 months pregnant. And a big reason behind that is because she miscarried the first time, so they're trying to make sure that she didn't sit there and get pregnant, announce it, and then miscarry once again. And I'm sure also they waited just because the timing wasn't the best with everything going on. And so they said, there's so much more Lindsey could say. This has become a nightmare. Lindsey's so worried about Miley's safety. The post Lindsey just made about the car was due to her daughter going to a party with a bunch of 20 to 25-year-olds drinking and partying at an Airbnb on New Year's Eve. Hayden, the stepmom, posted the Airbnb, and the police showed up at 11:30 at night and held them for underage drinking. 6 kids, one that was Miley, hit the woods running. Lindsey got the call and made it to the Airbnb by midnight, only to find out that Miley was missing in the woods. Lindsey calls Edna, which is Miley's great-grandmother, and Edna had no idea where Miley was. She didn't answer Lindsey, she only answered Chad. No one from Jamie's family showed up to get Miley after knowing Miley was in the woods, and went on for 2.5 hours. Then a missing juvenile report was missing by Lindsey. They found her 4 miles away in Tennessee, crossed state lines on foot in Tishomingo County, and the police were pinging her phone and contacted Edna, who told them Miley was with her all night, and they knew in that moment that she was lying to the police, as they're currently pinging her phone. She ended up in Iuka or something like that, which is behind Taco Bell, and they never found her directly. They demanded Edna bring Miley to the police department so they could close out the missing juvenile case. They sent Lindsey to wait an hour later. They called Edna back, and she said that she was in Walnut. The police continue to call Edna, demanding that she shows up with Miley or she'll get charged with abetting a minor. Edna got hysterical with the police. The police continued to ping Miley's phone, which within 5 minutes, Miley's phone was at Edna's. So then it was a wellness check to Edna's to make sure Miley was there. I may have a video clip that I can give you. I never got the video clip, but I'll definitely ask them again if they have it. But they said, so the big plot twist is they're trying to make it sound like Miley went running from Lindsey when Miley had no idea Lindsey was even there or would find out. Jamie's family tried to protect Miley's choices and bad behavior because they don't like Lindsey. Then they said they continue to lie for Miley. Lindsey's waiting for the police reports and the body cam footage. The report will be ready first the next week. The body cam will go to Lindsey's lawyer for court. So now they're accusing Lindsey of stealing that car because it got towed. The police towed it. Lindsey had nothing to do with it. The car was still there when Lindsey left to meet the police in Tennessee. The Mississippi police were still there with the house party screening the kids for sobriety. All children needed adults to pick them up, but Miley was gone, so that is why Lindsey left. Lindsey was with police from 12 a.m. until she left at 5:15 a.m. Once Lindsey knew Miley's phone was pinged at Edna's, she went home, only to be accused of stealing the car. She only came that night for Miley's safety that night and nothing else. They tried to file stolen vehicle charges on Lindsey, but they refused it because Lindsey was with the police all night. That is when they proceeded to threaten her. The father and stepmother are accusing Lindsey and Chad of having the car towed, and Lindsey and Chad are accusing the mother and, the stepmother and the father of lying and claiming that the police were likely the ones to tow the car. You guys let me know what you think about all this in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching.